Welcome back. An important landmark at the Rhoda Island southern tip is the Monasterily Pavilion. The 19th century structure was actually the Salamlik section of a much larger complex that included a Haramlik and its adjoining garden. It is entirely the Monasterily complex, rich in Islamic design, was known as the Red Palace. The surviving riverside pavilion reflects the character of some of the showy halls on the Bosphorus, with its deep curved cornice and wood bracing and many other beautiful design. To know more about the history of this place, we are joined by Dr. Mamdouh Farouk, and he's a tour guide and archaeological inspector. Thank you, sir, for joining us today.
Good morning.
Good morning, good afternoon. Thank you, Dr. Farouk, for joining us. The Haramlik built area was executed in 1846, and its bordering garden disappeared in the 1950s to make way for water treatment plant, completed in 61. The acknowledged owner of the complex was Hassan Fuad al-Monasterily Pasha, who, according to one of his descendants, hailed from Monastir, an area of the Macedonian Greek border. He held several important posts during the short reign of Abbas I, including that of governor of Cairo in 1854 and the head of interior in 1857. Of course, the easy information is for us, Dina. The tough information is or the hidden information comes from the expert. So, Dr. Farouk, what do we know about the rich history of Al-Monasterily Palace?
First of all, we are very lucky to embark this Rhoda Island. The Rhoda Island, it has a great history from the Roman Empire. That we have a fortress Roman, it's called Papilion. It's located at the controversy area, okay? The importance of this area is very clear, that the chosen by Hassan Fuad Pasha Monasterily from Monaster in Macedonia, and he was interested to build a palace like the previous kings and nobles that erected a lot of villas and palaces from Muhammad Ali Pasha family. So he chose this spot because this spot, the where Salah Najmuddin Ayyub, the king or sultan, who was husband of Shaghat ad-Dur, the powerful woman who ruled Egypt. One time, he built on a remains or the turbans of this place a very beautiful palace. It's called Monasterily. This is decorated by Islamic design and combined with Arkok and Bakok. There was influence of Europe from the arts. This is very important. We have an oil painting drawing at the ceiling and all the walls inside the palace. This palace is combined between all the arts in Islamic. So we have here some rare decoration and the motifs that existed on the ceiling and walls from the Turkish and Europe influence of art.
The location of this palace is very beautiful. It overlooks immediately the River Nile. So what was the purpose of this location?
I have to tell you that this island, from the three islands located from Cairo and Giza, okay, we have the 5 bridges is linked between the Cairo and Giza. So this Rhoda Island, we have this palace located almost at the western south of the Rhoda Island, okay, and it was built in 1,000 meter square. That was built the garden and the building itself. So this importance of this island, that there many palaces will exist, and now it's removed and distracted after the passing of year or thousand of years. If you know about the history of this palace or this place from the Ptolemaic and the Ayyubid period, that's built a lot of villas and the palaces here. Okay, we have a very rare kind of monuments here. It's called Nilometer building that built in a reign of El Khalifa al-Mutawakkil, the Abbasid period. That's very important. Okay, the second oldest built or monuments in Egypt after Amr bin al-As Mosque in Egypt. So this area is located phase 2 Papilion Fortress. You know Papilion Fortress?
Yes.
And the religion collections that located at another side or other side. So this place, the River Nile, it give it a very important because the Nile cruise or any tribes or any ships or boats coming across the River Nile have to embark this place.
Yes, of course, Mr. Farouk, when you said the second oldest monument, of course you mean Islamic monument.
Yes.
In Egypt, concerning the Nilometer after the Amr ibn al-As Mosque, the first Islamic monument in Egypt. So, sir, for what purpose was Al-Mansterli Palace built in the very first place? I mean, the purpose of the building of the palace.
The mainly purpose for that he wanted to make a palace decorated like component decorations to be memorizing in thousand in later years or later years. So he wanted to make a masterpiece of art. Okay, and it witnessed this place. It witnessed a lot of events that happened from the King Farouk I. Okay, and when he received the leaders and Arabian leaders after the World War II, the Second World War. After that, he made a meeting with them, and this place is meeting for preparing, establishing the Arab League. Okay, and this is the most important event. That this Hassan Fuad Bashar Meristoli was a minister of interior at the reign of Khedive Abbas Helmi I. So he wanted to make his palace in a very rich spot that located between the almost of the rear monuments around Cairo.
What other hidden information we don't know about this palace? People know the name, the Ministerly Palace, but they don't know more information about the owner of the palace itself. So what can you tell us today more?
The first thing I have to tell you that this spot there was a castle of Sultan Saleh Nikmeddin Ayyub. When Saleh Nikmeddin Ayyub, the husband of Shajarat al-Durr, died during his war against Crusaders war, okay, Shajarat al-Durr had the news of his death because away from the army to make a powerful, strong link between the army and her. So he appeared here for 1 year, and his body or his remains, okay, transformed or moved to Saleh Nikmeddin Ayyub mosque or tomb in Al-Mu'izz Lidinillah mosque street. This is a very rare story about the story of this place. Saleh Nikmeddin Ayyub made a castle for himself away from Salah ad-Din citadel in Cairo. The second importance or the hidden secrets of this place that the King Farouk I, he made a meeting and receiving the leaders of the European and the Europe presidents after the World War II in this palace.
Why he chose this place for this meeting?
It's very because it contains a lot of decoration and the motifs inside. It's considered as a masterpiece. If you enter inside this palace, you will find like a portrait is drawing by the oil, colorful drawing or scenes inside, and we have a musical music rooms inside. Some musical concerts were held in this place. This is very close to his heart as the King Farouk.
Yeah.
And when they were ready for prepared establishing the Arab League, they made this place as a meeting point here. Okay, and I will tell you something very important. During the River Nile Loyalty Festival, the ceremony were done in this palace. Okay, the loyalty of River Nile ceremony were done every year at this palace.
Oh, that's a very important piece of information.
Moreover, it is close by Nilometer, the second oldest monuments in Egypt. That is very rare, and the Rhode Island in the past or ancient times, in the Roman periods, there was one of the fortress Roman, Papillon, and when the Arab entered Egypt, they removed this fortress from here, and they started to build a new style of Islamic architecture in this place.
Very significant. Mr. Farouk, so in your view, what is it that distinguishes the architecture of this wonderful place?
Yes, there is a kind of art. It's called Arkok and Pakok. Is it from Europe? It's combining from Islamic and Europe style. This is very important. All a family, or Ibrahim Pasha, Said Pasha, all the family of Muhammad Ali Pasha, the great one, take this a kind of this style. All in all their palaces, Ibrahim Pasha, Said Pasha, Khedive Ismail, all of them built in the island Roda, their palace. But now it's not existed. But they kept in their tradition and customs how to build their palaces in this kind of such a kind of this art.
Great.
Sir, you told us today hidden secrets about this place. So what about the other beautiful parts in this palace?
We have the building itself. It includes a main hall, a great hall, and the two bedrooms and the side bathroom, and we have a room is overlooking the River Nile traces, okay, and it's decorated with a corniche of the ancient Egypt, okay, as a like decorated with art in ancient and the Islamic. The garden includes Kulsum Museum that inaugurated at 1998 with a collection and properties of the a musical heritage in Egypt, okay? And we have a Nilometer. Nilometer, it has a very amazing story. If you want me to tell you about the story
please.
of Nilometer.
Please.
Nilometer, it has includes the two kind of substructure and superstructure, okay? That it measure the River Nile inundation level every year. How to make their crops from vegetables and the fruits, and how to know the rate of taxes that were supposed to pay by the people in this at this time. So Nilometer includes a marble or the column marble. It was measured with 19 arm. 19 arm is a unit of measures.
Yes.
At nearly 52 centimeters. Okay, and there was a River Nile inundation. The level came. Okay, they measure the River Nile inundation level to know what the supposed crops to be harvested or planted in the in Egypt. And this Nilometer was built at a beside period. Later, in Khedive Abbas Helmi I, as this palace monastery, he made a conical dome on this Nilometer, decorated by the Turkish and European style. It's very rare, like a conical head or conical upper part of this. When you got inside or enter down to this Nilometer by stairs, you will find a very beautiful foundation of the Nilometer. It's considered as the second oldest monuments after Amr ibn al-As mosque was built in Egypt.
Yeah, Islamic monuments, of course. Yeah, and sir, is this a palace open? Well, we saw the students, we saw the influx of
everyone here.
Yeah, but I want to see the elderly generations as well visit it. So, what do you think we should do, or the tourism authorities should do, to attract more and more visitors to such beautiful palaces as this, as Dina had said earlier? Because I guess this is a type of tourism that still has ways to go, and not only could it benefit the Egyptians to know more about their heritage and their rich history, but also it could be very interesting to Arabs and foreigners at large.
That's a very good question. About this place or monastery and the palace itself and the garden around and what it's annexed building to the monastery palaces. The Ministry of Antiquities is interested to make the musical concerts here, and it's considered as a culture center that was done or held in this place. Okay, it's not forgotten, but it not promoted such a good promotion for this place. You know, now you see some students from everywhere, from the university, and students came here to visit this place, but we have to promote and make a marketing for this such a great place that like the Mansourli Palace, because it has a rare and unique style of decorations, and the more eras has passed through this place. In the next time, the Minister of English will do it by cooperation with some the culture centers from all the world.
Great.
Okay, sir, how many times this place was renovated by the Ministry of Antiquities?
Renovated in 2005. 2005, yes, 2005, yes. But now it's ready for receiving everyone here. If you wanted to make a concert, a musical concert or meeting or something else, you wanted to help.
It is done in the palace itself or in the garden?
No, it's inside the palace itself. Inside the palace itself, and the garden also we some have some concerting and some concert from Indian music. Yeah.
So, sir, by making these concerts inside the palace, how should we protect the palace from any harm that affect the monument itself?
Okay, I have to tell you that no curved drawing in the wall or ceiling. Okay, there's a few furniture inside this palace. We have some instruction and rules that were done when you wanted to make a ceremony or wedding party or something else in the palace. You have to follow the instruction and rules inside to to be hurt, the palace to be hurt or destroyed, or something that will be distracted or broken inside this palace. We put an instructions and rules inside it.
Yeah. So, Mr. Farouk, could you tell us about more palaces other, of course, than the Mansouri Palace? I don't know how many of them. Maybe dozens, maybe hundreds, maybe you tell us.
Yeah.
How many palaces are, that we don't know much about and that should be opened more for tourists, be it Egyptian or Arab or foreign?
When you search inside the history of Muhammad Ali Pasha family, you will find more palaces. We have some palaces here is nearby this palace. It's called the Prince Muhammad Ali Al Manial Palace. Is nearby this palace and has a many fascinating and amazing decoration inside it. The Prince Muhammad Ali was a son of Al Khedive Tawfiq. Okay, the son of Muhammad Ali Khedive Ismail. This is all the family.
There's a hunting lodge there, I think, right?
Yes, there was the hunting museum that was mummified. Animals and birds were inside. Very amazing. You'll find a rare and unique birds inside this palace. And we have the reception and the reception hall, and we have Saraya al-Arsh, or the Sroon Saraya. The inside was decorated with a gilded wood inside this village, and very rare, and it take a style of the Islamic art and the Turkish and from the Persian. All the kind of arts were taken from all over civilization as this type. So we have to mention this palace was considered as a very great palace at the time. Let's move to another site. We have Al Parum Palace. Parum Palace was the Imperial Impan.
Yes.
He was made Masr Gedida, and make a turn or link between the railway station from the downtown to Masr Gedida. It was a Palladium one. He make a very structure that is a new style.
Everybody's asking about Le Baron Palace. So what's happening with the palace? Le Baron.
Now it's restored by the Ministry of Antiquities, because in the next plan, okay,
will be open. So much time. It has taken so much time.
The restoration take a lot of time, like 3 years or 5 years, because there is a kind of restoration. It's called accurate restorations to keep the elements of structure and the art be kept as it was ever before. So the palace, or Parum Palace, the next plan to be open for the public in the next year or the next
Great.
year, and it was used as a very good destination for the tourism. Because it's located at the Masr Gedida. The Masr Gedida, they had its architectural elements that dating back to Muhammad Ali Pasha family or reign.
Yeah.
So we have the many palaces here. I have to tell you that we have a lot of palaces like Al Mamluk periods and the Ayyubic periods. All of them. We have in Mu'izz Street, Mu'izz Din Street. We have two palaces. The Eastern and the Western palaces for Al Mu'izz Din Allah, okay, but now destroyed or distracted, okay. Unfortunately, we have a lot of palaces now. We have ruins or debris of them, but we have to keep.
Alexandria must hold very famous palaces as well.
قصر التين, قصر المنتزه Palace, قصر التين Palace in Alexandria, the very rare Khedive Abbas Hilmi II, who built the Muntaza Palace at Alexandria. These palaces we have Al Abdin Palace. Is following by the presidential that was Abdin in Cairo.
Yeah.
They are opening now Abdin Palace for the public?
Not for public, but it have to take a permission because it's belonging to the president authority.
Oh, so it's not open because I heard that they are restoring it now and they're going to open it for tourism.
If you wanted to visit this palace, it's okay, it's available, but you have to take a permission because it's belonging
presidential
to
palace.
Yes, presidential palace. Yes.
And sir, so what is the best way to again attract? If we're going to put a plan to attract more and more visitors, not just this, I'm very happy to see the students flowing in. And this is, we've been to many palaces here on Nile Cruise and visit
Yes.
and shot and filmed from many beautiful palaces. This is the best flow of visitors I've seen from students. I can say that. But we want other generations and we want tourists as well to come here. So if we're going to make a plan, if you were the one tasked with designing a plan.
From the point of my view as an as archaeologist or a tour guide, okay,
Yeah.
I will tell you a new ideas about how to promote these palaces in the future.
Yeah.
These palaces, we have to, firstly, to restore it very well. And so we have to make some publishing, some information in books, and we'll distribute it to the tourism companies, okay, and tell the tourism outside to visit, including this program as optional, if they want. And every month or monthly, we have to make a concert or a visit or ceremony here, and open for public. Okay, according to the rules and instructions, it will attract a very kinds of layers of people in Egypt. And the other side, we have to make some ceremonies for the Arabs here every summer. The Arab every summer came to Egypt, and they interested in entertainment, the kind of tourism.
Especially that there's the Kulthum Museum here. So
yes, it's culture, the culture center. We have to make some meeting, some poetical concerts here for if you want to make a musical meeting. Every kind of entertainment. We have to make a combine between the culture and the entertainment on this side. So we have a lot of ideas to do it, but we have to do it in fact.
Okay, sir, as an archaeological inspector, what is the most favorite palace for you? The one that really impressed you?
What a question. I mean, that's, whoa.
Yes, for me.
Yeah. And of course, there will be different point of views.
Definitely.
I mean, every tour guide or
but as an
inspector.
expert.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I will tell you something very important. Sakakini Palace, Habib Pasha Sakakini. They're located at
We've been there.
at Al-Dhahar or Ghamra
Yeah.
places. It's rare and decorated. It's a kind of art is very rare. Okay, Baron Palace that it's take from the Indian and Cambodian arts. Okay, we have a lot of goddess and gods that are decorated as in statues and the walls and scenes on the facade of the Parum Palace.
The story of the bats that existed there, I mean, is it true? I went there once with friends. Yeah, so, and we saw bats. We did see bats, خفافيش in Baron
bats,
Palace.
yeah.
So it's
Yes, we have.
it's true. It's not a myth.
Some
is it?
people
Yeah.
were very scared about it when
Yeah.
they visited this palace. They told that there is some souls and scary events that happen inside this palace. But
That makes it more
a remain
interesting,
of
I
blood,
think.
a remain of
Yeah.
blood. The
Yeah.
word is spread and on the mirror
Yeah.
and the floor, in the first floor, you find a lot of blood were scattered and all on the wall, on the walls. But some people believe this is this blood of humans. So we
don't
have
know,
some
yeah.
scary story about.
But that makes it more interesting, doesn't it?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But
you know
these
that-
are all stories made by people who were surrounding the place, living there. But I believe they are
were
all
hearing
fake.
some voice or sound, scary sound
Yeah, yeah.
during their walking beside this palace.
They are
We-
scaring themselves.
Yes, this as a kind of
Myth.
attraction of tourism outside.
Yeah.
I have a story in a specific museum in Europe that they told the people is there is a statues is go around in the night, okay,
Oh, it will turn.
and the spiritual power has
Yeah.
made it to go around this island. Is a and make them all the public visited this museum because they heard about this statue.
Story, yeah.
What happened? This story about
It's
this
a kind
statue.
of publicity for the place, and they are
Yes.
smart, by the way.
Yes.
Dr. Mamdouh Farou, archaeological inspector, thank you very much
Thank
for
you,
joining us.
thank you. I'm very
Thank you.
happy.
It's been a
Thank you.
pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And now we're
Viewers,
moving to a quick break, so please stay tuned.